Good afternoon on what is a bright, chilly but sunny day. It is Monday, October the 25th. I'm back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a very insistent cat. I'll be very careful with my cup of tea. What I'm going to be looking at today is this. Okay, which is the free RPG Day Adventure 2021 adventure for the Iron Kingdoms, An Echo in the Darkness. Now, Saturday, the October 16th was free RPG Day, so I hope you're able to get to your friendly local gaming store and basically pick up something interesting to try out or add to your campaign. And if not, hopefully you will be able to find a lot of these available for download by now. And of course, if you don't have a friendly local gaming store, do find one that will do mail order, because there are plenty of those about, and they really are helpful. In this case, I was able to get this from David Salisbury at Fanboy 3 in Manchester, and I want to thank him very much for providing me with these. Facilitates this essentially unboxing and overview video, as well as a subsequent review. Thank you very much, and I'm going to say give him a proper thank you when I see him next month for Grogmeat. So, Iron Kingdoms, you say, and it's for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Well, Iron Kingdoms is in fact 20 years old this year, and in fact I should go and dig it out and do a proper review, because it's one of the most evocative settings that came out for the D20 system. It's a mixture of steampunk and fantasy, with some characters able to control great warjacks, basically coal-powered robots that with basically a magical brain that were used for war and labour. And there were lots of different races. The elves are different, and you had gobbers and trollkin and so on, and it was really evocative. And you had a dark race called the Syrinx, who were threatening to take over. It started off with The Longest Night in 2001, and then from there it got a really good monster book, the Monsternomicon Volume 1, and there was a total of about 5 books for it in total before Privateer Press, the publisher, made the shift to really focusing on on the Iron Kingdoms as a wargaming setting, and even though it got its own role-playing game in 2012, it's basically, it has always been kind of like it's been a wargaming setting primarily, but it's back in 2021 as back with Dungeons and Dragons for 5th edition, which I think is really great, because the thing is, the more people get into this, the better. And I really hope that they bring out the scenarios published back in the early 2000s and make those accessible and playable as a campaign, because they're really good. Let's have a look inside. Echo of Darkness. Welcome to An Echo of Darkness. Let's have a look. What goes around an echo in the darkness? The determined people have chosen to rebuild the ruins of the fabled town of Ingrain, want the same thing as the rest of the Iron Kingdoms, to rise from the ashes of an infernal invasion that nearly claimed the souls of most of the world. The new residents have worked hard to restore Ingrain to the thriving and wholesome fishing community it once was. But a shadow from Ingrain's past threatens the small settlement. On the eve of a grand celebration to commemorate the refounding of the township, forces of darkness gather to claim a prize from its very heart and once again threaten to render the village to ruin. Ingrain needs heroes to stave off the darkness and protect its legacy as the birthplace of one of the world's most legendary warcasters. Can you save the town from being destroyed by evil beyond reckoning? Step into the world of the Iron Kingdoms with An Echo of the Darkness, an all-adventure designed for the world's most popular role-playing game, part of the ongoing saga of Iron Kingdoms Requiem. Obviously, Iron Kingdoms Requiem is the Dungeons and Dragons version of the game, or the new version, and it's designed for 3 to 7 1st to 4th level characters, and is optimised for a group of 5 3rd level characters. Takes place in the village of Ingrain, the coast of Signar, and one of the most foremost Iron Kingdoms. The small community sits on the storm-tossed Meridius, within reach of the raiding fleets of Crix, the Nightmare Empire. Sorry, it's Crix who the Nightmare guys. It's been a while since I've looked at this, although I have. Where I'm sat in my office, I can look to my left, and basically the books, some of the books I've got there for the D20 system are for the Iron Kingdoms. So we go straight into the adventure background and the fact there's going to be Syrixian raiders. There's an adventure overview, and how to involve the characters. And you can see there's great artwork in there. It's got a great, really dark feel to it. It is certainly on the part of the bad guys. I'll admit you've got a bit of the Chainmail Bikini school of characters. But that's always been there. It's less so with the player characters. So the bad guys get to dress badly, or sexily, or inappropriately, as you want to regard it. So now he's got a map of New Ingrain, which I quite like. That's nice and simple and clear. And a bit of an explanation. Again, the player characters get a chance to explore, including Ingrain's Children's Home for Little Wanderers, the Swan and Steel Public House, and the town garrison, and so on. And they get involved in the festivities and enjoy everything before, of course, part 2, attack! Because he knew it was coming, and essentially this is a defensive scenario where the player characters will have to hold off wave after wave of these things. And from my own part, the Syrics also basically use a lot of the undead. And there's a sort of like a steampunk biomechanical element to the setting, as you can see in its monsters. And see, the player characters essentially attempt to have to stave off wave after wave of these creatures, and there's things they basically he slaughters the watchman. There's a bar brawl as well, and these locations where the characters can face them down. But before essentially, potentially, they get to the town hall. There's a big battle. And we both face wave 3, and here we've got an example of a warjack, and it's a Syrixian warjack, I believe. Okay, and before we get to end the big beat the big bad. So, and then basically a guide to ending the adventure, victory or defeat, and we have images basically clearly presented. Stats for the bad guys, again accompanied by really nice pieces of artwork, bit dark, but again fits the setting, and essentially it's a kind of case of all this is taking place on the night of the celebration, so that's fine. You know, that's what the player characters you can see are seeing, and it's easy enough for them to for the dungeon master or referee to show it to her players. So we've got multiple, basically we've got a slicer, dicer, and a soapbox to the resurrector. Basically, undead necrotech. Appendix of items and equipment, echo, firearms, and so on. Oh yes, this is a setting with firearms, but they're expensive. I can't remember. They're not exact. They're breech loading, essentially. And essentially, they're not gunpowder, but they use essentially blasting powder rather than gunpowder as such. I've got a handout at the end. Again, clues all in there before we have essentially the advert at the back, extolling you to go on adventure in the Iron Kingdoms, a world full of full metal fantasy. So we have the basically Requiem, go campaign setting, Monster Nomicon, the monsters, and we've got Legends of the Witcher, which is an adventure for levels 1 to 4. There we go. It's essentially 3 books introduce new classes, races, and gear adventures while plunging you into wild and untamed lands beyond the Iron Kingdoms. And essentially, this gives you everything you need to play. You'll need to get to do some characters and so on. But I really like the look of this. I'd love to play in it, and I think I'm going to go back now and look at my original Iron Kingdoms books, and I think it's probably worth me doing a review, at least of the first one, because that came out in 2001 and is remembered as a really good adventure. But yeah, if you're a fan of this setting, do grab this. If you're not a fan of the setting, do go check it out. I think you find it's really different to what a lot in terms of the kind of stuff you're getting available for Dungeons and Dragons. It's, you know, as I said, it's full metal fantasy, and it's a lot of fun, and it's dark, and it's grim, and you've got again, come back to the player character options are a lot of fun. There's a lot of diversity and interesting races and so on to play. So yeah, that's an Echo in the Darkness for Iron Kingdoms, released for Free RPG Day 2021. Well, if you have enjoyed this unboxing and overview, please do click the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any feedback, comments, appreciate you posting those, and I do read them and I do respond. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more videos, whether it's an overview of another title for Free RPG Day, or actual unboxing which I post every day, where either way you will see me here back in the Nook, unboxing and talking about a game or a book for roughly 10 minutes to the best extent of my knowledge, all accompanied of course by a nice hot cup of tea, and in some cases a cat that is not ours, then please do hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, thanks again for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video. Bye for now.